Okay, I've been trying not to cut down any more trees, but these two trees, this leaner and this small one right here, have been on the bubble for a while. This is another little spot right here that we could really easily turn into a campground or something like that. Even before we owned this land, when I would be working 3, 4, 5 years ago, when I would be working over here, oftentimes the kids would kind of sneak over here by this rock. And there was always kind of a canopy of trees hanging over it. So I'm trying to leave that. I'm trying to keep that thing that we liked so much. But unfortunately, that leaning tree was going to go no matter what. I just left it because I kind of liked it. But I keep rubbing up against it with a bucket when I'm trying to move dirt around. And this small one right here, it's just right in the way. I have to get in there to move dirt, and it's right in the way. So if we turn this into another campground, which it would be perfect for, that both those trees would have to go anyway. So real quickly, I'm going to cut those down and get them out of the way so I can get finished moving dirt. Part of the reason I didn't move as much dirt as I thought I would yesterday was because I was just jogging around these two trees all day long. I should have moved, 100, 120 loads of dirt yesterday, and I think I moved 40. So let me cut these down real quick and we'll get back to it. At this point in the project, my chainsaw is overdue for a sharpening, but I muscle through it and get these two trees cut down. There's a very large boulder sitting right here, and now that I've removed these two trees, I will use either the excavator or the backhoe and dig out a spot just big enough for something, whether it's a dome tent or a little small shelter for the goats. Either way, right in the middle of those trees will be perfect. By using the backhoe, I can spread the dirt around and get it as level as I can right here for now. Once I'm done, I'll get it even more level with my tractor. Cedar and I have discussed quite a bit on how we can best utilize the new property as we've gotten the dirt more leveled out and more usable. But now the pasture is big enough that we could put a fence or two in it and possibly even have a couple of different animals in each section. Whatever we decide to do, we need to be a little bit careful as we get the grass planted and it starts to take root. But I think the long-term plan, we'll have two pastures right here. As we start to get the homestead more and more developed, one of my goals is to be able to bounce around from different pastures with different animals and utilize what we can grow right here. Part of the reason we have stuck with the goats is because they prefer the weeds over the grass. But if we can get the grass established, there's no reason why we couldn't have a couple of cows over here that we could raise up and maybe sell one and process the other. I think today might be the day that I finish moving this pile of dirt. As much of a pain as it has been to move over 1,000 yards of dirt, now this piece of ground feels usable to me. And I'm excited about the projects that I will do over here on this piece of property. Between my buddy Mark and myself, we've gotten this dirt moved around in a way where it looks like it may have been created this way. So far, we are 6.5 years into a project that may genuinely take a lifetime. But my long-term goal is to produce all of the food that we need to live on right here on our place. Now, my concern is that I won't be able to voluntarily work through this process. My concern is that sooner than later, we may have to figure this out, as we're seeing food shortages already. So as I finish moving all of the dirt around and building this area back up to where I want it, I will bring my tractor in with the Gannon and level off everything as much as I can. And hopefully using the Gannon it will pick up a lot of the bigger rocks and hopefully loosen the soil enough to put down the grass seed. At this exact moment, we have had our first snowstorm of the year, and we have used our wood-burning stove for the first time this year as well. And the weather looks like it might dry out just enough that I can get this new piece of property fenced. So if it does dry out, I'm going to have quite a few loads of gravel delivered over here. And then I'm going to set all the railroad ties, and then the horse fence and the lodgepole pines. And then we're going to let Mother Nature do her work over winter. And hopefully come springtime we got some green grass over here. So in the last 6.5 years since we very first purchased our property, the cost of food has gotten more expensive, the cost of shelter has gotten more expensive, the cost of energy has gotten more expensive. And thank heavens we don't have to make a monthly payment anymore for our shelter or for our energy, but the food concern is a big concern for me. So some of the next big projects around the place are going to be all around permaculture and having permanent food sources literally all over the side of our mountain. Whether it's an orchard, whether it's a strawberry patch, raspberry patch, or a sugar shack to make maple syrup and maple sugar. In a traditional homestead sense, you eat the foods of the seasons. You eat the fresh fruits and vegetables when the fresh fruits and vegetables are available. You butcher the animals in the fall when the temperatures are cold enough to keep the meat from spoiling. You make your maple syrup and your maple sugar in the springtime, again as the ground is thawing out and the sap is going from the roots to the limbs of the tree. So there's always something that we can be working on in preparation for the next season and the next food source. I once saw a bumper sticker that said, "If you like eating watermelon in December, thank a farmer in Yuma, Arizona." Maybe we're not supposed to be eating watermelons in the middle of December. I lay in bed at night thinking about the possibilities of our place and all of the different things that we can do to provide some sort of a food source. Everything from honeybees to maybe even a nut orchard of some kind. Again, because most of our land is hillside, it may not ever provide enough feed for a whole bunch of animals, but there are most certainly other things that we can do to provide as many different food sources as we can using our land. But maybe having a walnut orchard could offset the money that we spend on hay every year for the animals. Over the last 6.5 years that we have owned our land, I regularly ask myself, was moving my wife and kids from Arizona to southeastern Idaho and doing this thing that we're doing up here in the mountains, was it in the best interest of my family? Was it also in the best interest of our future? And is there anything that I would change about it? And the only real thing that I would change about what we have done is the time frame. I would love to be just a little bit more established And I would love to have a more firm grip on food production around our homestead. If I could go back in time 6.5 years, how much harder would I have worked so that I might be just a little bit further along than where I'm at now? The real question is, what does the next 6.5 years look like? The good news is, at this exact moment, there's no more dirt that needs to be moved off this pad. I have moved all the dirt that I need to down to the fence line, and we are officially finished moving dirt. The next step will be to do some cleanup. Like I said, I'll use the tractor to flatten this off as good as I can, but I'll probably end up having Mark come back and use the excavator to make sure there's proper drainage on this new pad. The last thing that I want to do is have water sitting on this pad any more than it needs to. And then once that's done, the next step is getting some gravel delivered. It measures about 60 this way and about 80 feet that way, which is bigger than I could hope we could get it. If I was willing to take out a couple more trees, we could go back another 15 feet. But I have moved so much dirt that I am no longer interested in moving any more dirt this year. So Mark's gonna come back and regrade this with his excavator. He's gonna grade that and groom that down the hill. And I need to put the grass seed down, and then I need to get some gravel delivered up here. But I'm gonna run and grab Cedar and the kids and show them what it looks like now that there's no dirt here. So. These are all the rocks that we have found, and there's a whole bunch more over there. So I may start doing a rock retaining wall, but it really...
I don't know, they're like stone, but they're like climbing rock wall.
Oh, you want to have a climbing rock wall, okay. Yeah, you want to do that tomorrow? Bring the soccer goals over here?
Yeah, sure.
And then the ball's not going to go anywhere.
Maybe.
We still have to work on the dirt a little bit more, but from right here there's going to be a trail that goes right above the water tanks. So it won't be so steep, not like that one back there. This one will be nice and easy and gradual. And then from the water tank, guess where we're going to go?
Cabin.
That's the next spot. And then from there we'll figure out how to kind of get up over that ridge, and then we'll get in the back of the property. But this is where it's all going to start. There's going to be a trail that goes right here, takes off that way. There'll probably be another trail that kind of cuts off and goes back down to the house somewhere. But we're going to end up having a bunch of trails all over the property here.
How do you turn around?
You don't,
That's all you're worried about?
You don't, bro. You don't turn around. This is a one-way road to where?
A dirt bike.
up in the air right there? I think it's 17 feet. So if you jumped off that, you'd get hurt. Let's not jump off that.
You could slide down.
What's that?
Maybe you could like jump off it.
And when there's a whole bunch of snow, maybe.